is shutting the barn door after all the cows have gotten out and trampled everybody in sight. In a press conference, the governor says he's ordered Freedom Industries to begin tearing down and dismantling all of its above-ground tanks, piping, and machines from the Elk River terminal on the Elk River. The company allegedly must have to remove all of these tanks and the equipment by March 15th. The order was issued Friday, January 24th. Now, 300,000 West Virginia residents drank that nasty water. Many were exposed to contaminated water, and they experienced rashes. They experienced irritated eyes and chemical burns. And let's not mention the babies. They got burned too. Besides, they were drinking stuff that was made with that nasty water. Formula. They drank it. What did it do to their insides? What are the long-term consequences of this spill to both adults and children? And pregnant women were told not to drink it because, of course, it would mess with the developing fetus. So, what are the long-term consequences of health problems with children who are born and have experienced in utero exposure? And on top of that, who's going to pay for all this mess? Who's going to pay for the chemical cleanup of the rivers in the Ohio River Basin? Now, they're saying that between Evansville, Indiana, and Louisville, Kentucky, which is 100 plus river miles, all of a sudden, hey, the chemical disappeared. We can't find it. It's gone into stealth mode. Maybe the aliens got it. Who knows? But what's really so strange about this is what some chemists have been talking about. There are more than 200 chemicals that have been found in the Ohio River. Some of them are not routinely tested for. You have to know what you're looking for in order to develop a test for it. And that's what is going to be the problem, because chemicals are always spewing in our rivers. And as far as the West Virginia situation was concerned, nobody found out about that. The company didn't tell anybody. No one found out about that until the water started smelling funny. Started smelling like licorice. Nobody knew about it until it looked funny. Some of it had the consistency and the look of maybe a light grade motor oil. So when all of these people started showing up at the hospitals with rashes and burns, they figured, what's in the water? What's going on with the water? And then the company started talking about how, they had a leak. They had a leak. Oh, yes. They had a leak in a big old 13,000 gallon tank that sat not even a mile from the water plant. A water plant perhaps like the one you're looking at. So I don't think that we've seen the end of this, because if the stuff went down river and disappeared, well, that's nice, but what about the consequences of the stuff in the river? How much is Evansville, Indiana, which does not have large storage facilities of water, as well as Louisville, Kentucky? Now, Cincinnati, they're big enough and they had enough reservoir or reserve water. They just simply turned their water filtration plant off and said, okay, stuff, go on down the river, go along, get along with you. And that was fine. But the smaller cities don't have that storage capacity. So they had to buy charcoal, activated charcoal or whatever. And the charcoal was supposed to screen any of that crap out and keep it out of the river water. And what was really so interesting about the whole thing, allegedly, supposedly, is between Louisville, Kentucky and Evansville, Indiana, the stuff went on stealth mode. Nobody can find it in the river. But possibly what happened might be something that one of the people who responded in one of the newspaper message board, he said there's a lot of stuff in the water and we don't know what it is, and when this stuff got in the water, it could have chemically bonded with some of the crap that's in the water and turned into something completely different, and since we don't know what it turned into, we can't test for it. Don't you just love deregulation? Don't you just love states who are in bed with various industry or not? We will pay for this in one way or another.